Okay, let's try this again. Hello, everyone. It's Janelle Petrosino back with you for another video, and I am blessing and releasing because I already recorded this video once. It was about 40 minutes long, and my computer had a technical difficulty and did not save it. So I had to take a step back. I had to take a day off, and now I'm back to re-record it. It was so good. You know that feeling that you record something and you're like, it was perfect. It was absolutely everything that I wanted to share with you and then some. But here we are. There must be a bigger and better reason why I need to record this again. Maybe also just to simplify it a little because it was very long-winded. But I'm excited to be here to tie everything together that we've learned this week with you. It's just so exciting that you're here. I'm so blessed and grateful to have this opportunity to share all of this knowledge with you. You know, my gut health journey is literally why I'm an integrative health practitioner. So the journey that I embarked on starting in 2014, but ultimately in 2016, I went through so many things and it led me to becoming an integrative health practitioner to educate other people on how really crucial and important their gut health really is. So I tend to be very long-winded about this topic. I'm going to try to just streamline everything, but I want to tie everything together and I want to really hone in specifically on things that you can start implementing today. So specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about some do's and don'ts, and then also specifically about nutrition and supplementation and just some really important factors that can help move you forward in your gut healing journey. So I'm really excited to get started. Let's dive right in. I'm going to share my screen and let's do this. All right, so we're going to tie it all together. Today, we're going to focus on ways to optimize your gut health through your lifestyle. So far this week, you've learned like what your gut is anyway, 5 factors that commonly impact our gut. We talked a little bit about bowel movements, what's normal, what's not, what to expect, some other big factors that, impact your gut. We talked a little bit about what the most common imbalances are and what those symptoms present with. And then now we're going to kind of tie it all together of like, okay, so what do you do with this information? Um, your lifestyle is going to be key when it comes to healing your gut. It truly matters. The little things, every little thing that you do each day, it really compiled over time makes up your health. And so whether it has to do with the way in which you deal with stressful situations or the types of products that you use on your body or your mindset, um, the food that you're consuming, the content you're consuming, it all matters. It all impacts your overall gut health. And so today I really want to highlight your habits, your environment, your mindset, your priorities. Like all of those things really matter. And, yes, you may have some health history and things contributing to your gut imbalances now or potential gut imbalances, but you can make changes today that will impact your future and you can heal your gut, just because you're having a gut related struggle now, or maybe you don't even know if you do. Maybe you're just navigating and trying to figure out if you do. The things that you decide to do moving forward matter. Your activity levels, your sleep, your stress levels. So let's kind of dive into some things to focus on specifically. Let's talk about nutrition. Nutrition is the foundation of your overall health, in my opinion, but your gut health specifically, because what you're putting into your body, you're either not getting enough of the good stuff, or maybe you're getting too much of the bad stuff. Processed junk, artificial ingredients, dyes, colors, artificial sweeteners. This is supposed to say artificial sweeteners, by the way, but it says colors twice. My bad, but you get the point. Like when you're going to the grocery store, you really want to be mindful about what you're buying and what you're putting into your body. Processed foods are usually the foods that are in packages. So donuts and, prepackaged muffins and granola bars and cereals and all of those things, they are not ever going to serve your gut health. So it's not to say that you can't ever have them, but it is about being mindful about where you put them into your day and how much of them you're consuming. Non-organic meats and non-organic produce. I understand times are hard. The food today is astronomically priced. In my opinion, it's very expensive to eat healthy, which is a shame, but you still have to be mindful when you're eating conventional meats. You're being exposed to GMOs and antibiotics and things that once consumed can really wreak havoc on your gut microbiome. Non-organic produce is a huge one. It has a lot of pesticides and herbicides and chemicals that we cannot see. And while I'm not going to dive into, that aspect of this, another practitioner on a later date is going to talk more to you about that throughout this series. But right now, I really need you to understand that when you are consuming these things, you may be thinking, well, yeah, I am doing the right thing. I'm eating a healthy food. I'm eating a strawberry, for example, but you don't see all of the things that are also on that strawberry. And those are the things that can impact your gut over time. All the chemicals and like I said, the antibiotics and whatnot, it builds up in your system. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. So just making wise decisions when you're purchasing your groceries. So I'm going to get a little bit more into that. So let's go to the next screen. What to stop doing. So stop eating produce that is not properly cleaned, whether organic or non-organic. You want to definitely clean your produce, and you want to do so in the most simple and natural way so that it's sustainable and healthy. We personally use white vinegar and baking soda, but we basically just put our produce in some filtered water with some, to be honest, vinegar and baking soda and it usually bubbles a little bit. And then when you look in the water after you strain it out, it's like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I did not eat all that. There's a bunch of stuff that comes off, dirt. And we talked about parasites in the past. Like there are parasites on our foods, and we just have to, do our best to do our best. And so, yeah, that's a really great step that you can start taking today that will definitely impact your gut health. Not paying attention to labels is something that you want to stop doing. You need to understand that the best foods for your gut and the best way to boost beneficial bacteria and to kind of get your gut flora the way that it needs to be to thrive, you really want to eat colorful, fibrous foods. And you want to eat a macro balanced diet where you're having, and that's my next one, not understanding macros. Stop not understanding them. You got to understand them. You have to understand their importance and making sure that you're getting nutrients from all of the different big macronutrient groups. So proteins, fats, and carbs, because all of those really impact the way in which your gut functions and therefore how the rest of your body functions. And so I teach in my practice macro balancing. It's a really great way to make sure you're getting a lot of nutrients. It's a great way to make sure that you're, satiated after a meal. It helps with cravings. There's a lot of importance to that. But when it comes to your labels at the grocery store, you want to be able to look at something and see, like, for example, if you have issues with gluten, like how to read and see if something's gluten-free, or how to read and see if this actually has fiber in it. As a rule of thumb in our house, we are a gluten-free family. But when I purchase bread for my family, I always look at the fiber content. If you're looking at some of the bread, there's like either 0 or 1 gram of fiber. And then you pick up another loaf and it has like 4 or 5 grams of fiber. That's going to be a way better option for your gut, because fiber helps to move things through and, help with the bowel movements and whatnot. So eating something that doesn't have fiber is more likely to, number one, not provide any nutritional value, but become more stagnant in there. And so that's just, learning to read labels and understanding and, talking to your health practitioner, like, okay, can you help me identify like what I'm looking at when I'm going shopping? That's what we're here for. Stop making dietary choices to make other people more comfortable. This is a big one. I learned from experience that it's obviously easier said than done, but being somebody that has food sensitivities, I have 4 children and they all have food sensitivities. And so I had to really develop a voice to advocate for all of us. And sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable. But it's so important to understand that you don't want to sacrifice your healing or the choices that you're making just to make somebody else feel comfortable. So it's just really about communicating your needs in an educational way to people. So I always love to share with them, well, did you know this about gluten? Like, this is why we're gluten and dairy free. Did you know you could do a food sensitivity test? Like, we indicated that we X, Y, and Z need those things out of our home. And I'm so excited to join you at this event, this upcoming week, but I'm going to be bringing my own meal if that's okay with you, or, making sure that when you go grocery shopping or to a restaurant that you look at the menu ahead of time so that maybe you're in a position where you feel less awkward. But it's not wrong or selfish to stick to your health goals, especially if you're on a gut healing journey, even if it makes other people uncomfortable or they don't understand it. Educate them. They may learn something from you. Stop winging it with your nutrition. As you saw earlier this week, I love meal prep. I love just helping people find sustainable and simple ways to get their food to cook itself. Air fryer, low tox crock pot, baking things like where you don't feel like you have to be in the kitchen all day and then you have an abundance of it left over for other meals. That's really smart because most of us are really busy and we don't have time to meal prep every single day. But what you put into your body really matters when you're healing your gut. And then stop eating fast food, the meal prep and even just like having healthy snacks in your desk drawer at work can really help with that, because the fast food, unfortunately, is usually full of, trans fats and saturated fats and deep fried. And unfortunately, the standard American diet just does not serve our gut. It feeds the disruptive, harmful bacteria in our gut. So we want to try to avoid that at all costs. What we want to start doing is cleaning our produce. So we're going to go right through and you're going to be like, oh, I know the answer to this one, because it's the opposite. We want to start cleaning our produce. We want to start being mindful of that and taking the 5 to 10 extra minutes, because it really should soak for at least 5 to 10 minutes to do that. And, we actually saved money. We bought celery this week, the dirty celery. By the way, celery is one of the dirtiest foods and dirtiest piece of produce. Instead of buying the cleaned and cut one that's like $7, I purchased the like $2 one and I just cut it myself and then soaked it for like 20 minutes. And it saved me money. And honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. Start shopping on the outside aisles at the grocery store. Usually most of the grocery stores have your meats and lean proteins and your produce and your dairy and your frozen vegetables and all that on the perimeter of the store. You want to kind of stay away from those inner aisles that have all the cereals and the prepackaged stuff that isn't going to serve you. Why is it not going to serve you? You should know this by now, because it does not support the digestion or nutrient absorption processes that go on within your gut, but it also fuels the not so friendly stuff inside of there. Make mindful dietary choices. Think about your day in advance. Think about your week in advance. Look at your schedule. Obviously, most of us have days where we're more busy than others. So those days you want to have a plan. You want to have something in order so that if you're not home on time, or maybe you throw something in the crock pot so that you can stick to your healing and so you could stick to your goals. And it's not even really just about healing for a certain period of time. It's about just having a healthy lifestyle, because having a healthy diet is hands down the most foundational thing that you can do to support your gut health. So it's important. Meal prepping, making a grocery list, considering your nutrition as a healing priority, it all goes hand in hand. Here's an example. I made my very own electrolytes out of lemon and lime juice, some good quality Celtic sea salt, and then my alkalizing vitamin C, which also has some electrolytes in it. Sometimes it's just about, educating, learning yourself on how to make something. And if I were to go to the store and get Gatorade, it would have a bunch of added chemicals and junk that just wouldn't serve my gut. So there's so many things that you could do to get creative to support your gut health. What do you want to add in? Colorful plant foods are your best friend when it comes to your gut. Your beneficial bacteria that you want to have in there, they love eating fiber. They just love fiber. It's their favorite food. So why not give them their favorite food? And if you're thinking, I don't like a lot of fruits and veggies. Well, there's supplements that are, an option to help, which we'll get into. But, I just say, hey, find a new way to make that veggie. Maybe you just don't like the veggie the way that you made it, but it's crucial and it's important. And sometimes I think like when it comes to healing, it's important to understand that just certain things are fact, and convincing ourselves otherwise is not going to help the problem. So we have to find a way to find a solution. And so, for example, you may like steamed vegetables better. You might like pan frying them. You might like baking them. You might like air frying them. Like try different things and find different ways. And seasonings can be your best friend. Seasonings are great for gut health. So thyme and fennel are really great. Ginger are all very great for just easing digestive symptoms and just supporting the gut. Cinnamon is another really great one. I will compile a little list for you. It's really great if you have like harmful bacteria in your gut to add cinnamon. So if you're not quite sure and you haven't done a lab or anything, you can add cinnamon. I love adding cinnamon to my children's apples because I know that they have a couple of little visitors in there that we're trying to get rid of. And so, yeah, just spicing up your food can be a really great way to also support your gut, keeping your fruits and vegetables diverse. So buy what you buy this week, and then next week, try to change it up, get different colors in there, different types of fruits and vegetables. The gut bacteria love that. And then also you're more susceptible to acquiring different beneficial bacteria when you do that. Specifically when it comes to the beneficial bacteria that I look at in my clients, polyphenol rich foods. So berries, so good. Absolutely so good. Almonds. So add those to your shopping list. Add in high quality produce. So we're talking organic if you can. If not, be mindful, of where you're getting your produce. Stick to the Dirty Dozen and Clean 15. So the Dirty Dozen is your dirtiest produce in 2025. It changes every year, so you want to look that up. Those 12 foods, you want to at least shop organic or don't eat them, in my opinion, because those are the ones that have multiple chemicals, like grapes, celery, apples, and strawberries are up there. So if you love those foods like I do, we usually make the sacrifice, okay, we're going to get those things organic. The Clean 15, those are like the 15 cleanest vegetables of the year. Again, they change. Those are the ones you can kind of get away with getting just non-organic if you need to. But yeah, it's just, there's other ways too. Like we personally shop mostly for frozen vegetables because the organic frozen is much more affordable. And so you can get a lot more for your money too. So I roast my vegetables in the oven on a cookie sheet. I'll actually share the recipe with you. Cookie sheet, unbleached parchment paper, a plethora of different frozen vegetables, a little bit of olive oil, and my favorite gut healing seasonings. It's always rosemary and thyme, a little bit of parsley. Parsley is another good one for the gut. Black pepper and some sea salt. Pop it in at 420 for about 35 minutes. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then I have extra for the next day's lunch. But I buy that all frozen because it's cheaper that way. So if you need to, look at your options there. Healthy fibers, we've talked about. Foods that support good bowel health, already talked about that. All the colorful things. So hopefully by now, some of the things you're not going to do, moving forward as far as your gut goes, and the things that you're really going to hone in on. And then we're going to kind of dive into the second most important thing that you can do to really support your gut. And I love this topic. I want to talk about supplementation. I am a geek when it comes to supplementation because at one point or another, this was well before I was a practitioner. I didn't believe that supplements really, like I thought it was all a scam that, people just wanted your money. And people a lot of times say, like, you just urinate it out and it's a waste of money and this, that, and the other. And I just obviously wasn't educated, but supplementation is crucial for a couple of reasons. One, there's a lot of nutritional gaps in a lot of people's diets. So either you're not getting you don't have access to the right foods maybe where you live, or maybe the foods that you are consuming, the soil depletion is affecting them. You know, the foods that we're consuming today are nothing like what our grandparents and their grandparents and their grandparents were consuming back in the day. And or maybe your gut is just not functioning optimally and you're eating all the best things, but you're not acquiring any of the benefits. So supplementation is actually crucial. It is literally hands down outside of nutrition, eliminating my food sensitivities and prioritizing meal prep, and then supplementation is what helped me to overcome 4.5 years of secondary unexplained infertility, when 6 different doctors told me that the only hope for me to get pregnant was to go through with fertility treatments. Instead, I followed the 7th doctor's recommendation of changing my diet, going gluten and dairy free, and supplementing my gut. Well, prior to meeting that 7th doctor, I hadn't had a menstrual cycle in about 4.5 years. And you'd think that one of those other 6 doctors would have saw that as a red flag. It's called secondary amenorrhea. Your period goes away. It's a hormonal imbalance, in fact, or a result of one. And after doing those 3 things, my cycle came back within 3 weeks of supplementing with foundational supplements, some of which I'm going to share with you today. That just goes to show how powerful all of these things, tying it all together, really can be. Okay. So first and foremost, supplementation is targeted, it's individual, and it's not one size fits all. So you need to understand that what your neighbor and what your sister are doing is probably going to look different than what you need to be doing, because everybody needs something different based on their lifestyle, their health history, the imbalances that are present in their body. So that's the first thing. The second thing to understand is that when it comes to supplementation, it's really important that you're not just doing the next fad just to do it, right? I meet with a lot of women because I am a family gut health and women's fertility. That is my point of focus in my practice. A lot of women that are trying to get pregnant and they have like 25 different supplements they're taking. And I'll say, who prescribed these to you? And they just say, I just saw this person did this on the internet. Google said this, that, and the other. Like anything, too much of a good thing can be a bad thing. It can become stressful on your body. So you obviously want to know why you're taking a supplement. That's why doing your healing under the guidance of a practitioner is so crucial and so important. So, yeah, so it's targeted. And the whole point is to fill nutritional gaps, support healthy bodily function, support digestion, which is a huge one. If you are eating, or you were previously eating the standard American diet, if you were previously living a highly stressful life, if you were previously sedentary, and even now, or have a history of antibiotics or steroids like prednisone, or all these things, hormonal birth control over time, then your digestion probably needs support. It's just the fact. And so your body needs nutrients to heal your gut. And that's the bottom line. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite foundational supplements. These are supplements that you can ask the practitioner that invited you to this seminar or to this empowerment program about. They're all very familiar. And they may also have different recommendations for you. Like I said, you always want to go under the guidance of your practitioner and because they know you best. But my favorites that I often recommend as foundational supplements to a lot of people in my practice are the Daily Nutritional Support Powder. I have it every day. It's kind of like a multivitamin in powder form. It's delicious. It's great for gut healing, natural detox processes, and filling nutritional gaps. It's just simple. You have it once a day and it just gives you a bunch of what you need. I'm somebody that's currently working on my thyroid health. I love that it includes iodine. It's just such a great product. It's high quality. And the products that we recommend in this empowerment series are all GMP certified, third-party tested products that have undergone really specific testing to ensure that they're safe. So what a lot of people don't realize is that supplements are not regulated. They're not, they don't have to be. And so a lot of the supplements that you're getting at Walgreens, Rite Aid, on Amazon, they actually are counterintuitive because they have heavy metals and chemicals and crap ingredients that might not be serving your healing goals. So you always want to go with a reputable brand. I personally love Equalife. Pure Encapsulations is another one that I find to be pretty good. And there's, a bunch others, but the daily nutritional support powder and the daily fruit and vegetable blender foundational for me, for my kids, and for my clients. A lot of people aren't getting enough of the daily required or recommended fruit and veggies, which is 7 to 9 servings a day. I know that's a lot, but it's a really simple way. I said earlier, if you struggle with vegetables, this is a really simple way to kind of ensure that you're getting them. And it's important that you're getting them because your body needs the nutrients and the antioxidants to even consider healing your gut or supporting your gut. Omega-3 is important because it modulates inflammation, promotes growth of beneficial bacteria, supports gut motility and the gut-brain axis. So omegas, they're really hard to get through diet. You'd have to be eating a lot of seafood and like the right seafood, not the seafood that has a lot of mercury. It's just far too difficult, in my opinion. It's also really important for your gut health and your cholesterol. So all around, omega is really great, especially if you're somebody that does have gut issues currently and you're like, oh, I just have so much inflammation. Omega-3 can help. Magnesium is great for supporting healthy bowels, gut motility, relaxation, stress reduction, and supports a great, healthier gut barrier. It also can help with sleep. Magnesium is one of my absolute favorite supplements. I have, by the way, nothing that I'm sharing on here is a medical claim. I'm not making, medical recommendations. You should always consult your physician or your practitioner before starting a new supplement. I'm just sharing this for educational purposes, so that you can educate yourself, inform yourself, ask questions, and figure out what's the best for you. But one of our stories within our family, my son was going through a lot of constipation issues, and they were recommending that he goes on Miralax. And at the time he was only 2, and the bottle said, not for anyone under age 17. And the fact that they were recommending it brought a lot of question to my mind. So I did a deep dive research. There are ingredients in Miralax that are compounds of, or ingredients that are also found in antifreeze. That really bothered me. So anyway, I educated myself about, first and foremost, diet, hydration, and then I also educated myself on magnesium and how that is a really great natural way to support healthy bowels. So long story short, we ended up leaving pediatricians. We ended up getting a new pediatrician who supported this. And then within a week's time, my son's constipation was gone, and it still is gone. We had to make the appropriate lifestyle changes, and again, another example of how nutrition and supplementation can be so powerful. Always want to consult your child's pediatrician, but, just educating you on the fact that, Band-Aid solutions like medications like that are never fixing the problem when it comes to your gut. You got to get to the nitty-gritty of the lifestyle habits first, and then see if there are more natural ways to support these things and these imbalances first. And then D3 plus K, I always recommend the K because it helps with the absorption of D3, supports immune function, supports growth of bacteria, beneficial bacteria in the gut, and supports the gut barrier. So these are just some of my favorites. If you have questions about these in general, feel free to ask the practitioner that invited you here. And now I'm excited to talk about the routine. So those of you that are, fully engulfed in this process, you have selected a routine. So I am going to share a little bit about some of the supplements and how they are going to positively impact your gut health. So I'm just going to share, 4 supplements with you today. The morning supplement is the first one. It's a really great one to kickstart your day with essential nutrients, support your digestion, energy production, and other important bodily functions that impact your gut. This is a great supplement because it's just something simple that you just take in the beginning of the day, and then you reap the benefits throughout the day. Ginger root, there's that ginger again. It's great digestive aid, reduces inflammation, helps to soothe any digestive discomfort. Milk thistle, I know that Jen shared a little bit about that in regard to liver health and digestive health as well. Of course, detox, and then it also helps to support bile production, which is a crucial part of your digestive system and process. Excuse me, I'm talking a lot here. Cranberry, great for urinary health, which directly impacts gut flora in the gut, promotes the boost of beneficial bacteria, which, by the way, upon reviewing gut health labs, a lot of times I see that people don't have the adequate amount of gut bacteria that's beneficial that they need. So even if you don't know where your gut health stands right now, focus on boosting beneficial bacteria because you likely need it. And if not, you can always cut back after, if you do a lab or whatnot. Curcumin is an anti-inflammatory. It can reduce digestive symptoms and support the gut barrier. The gut barrier is so important. I've said it multiple times. I shared it on my first video, but basically we're talking again about that protective barrier that protects everything going on within your gut, the community in there. And why it's important is, again, we don't want things from the gut to leak out into the bloodstream and cause systemic inflammation and food sensitivities and autoimmune disease and a high toxic burden. And we don't want unfriendly visitors to come in. So being able to have the nutrients that you need to keep that gut barrier strong, essential. And then CoQ10 is great for lowering inflammation, a healthier gut environment, protecting your gut cells from oxidative stress. And black pepper extract, it helps to enhance absorption and stimulates the production of digestive enzymes, as well as it serves as a digestive aid. Now, digestive enzymes are another foundational supplement that you can ask your practitioner about. Sometimes when our gut is out of balance, the enzymes that our own gut is meant to produce, they lack. So having support in that area could be really beneficial because the enzymes are what help to digest your food. So if you're somebody that goes to the bathroom and you see a lot of food still in your stool, you may need a digestive enzyme and you probably need a gut health lab. But in another one, if your stool floats, that's usually a red flag that there's something going on, that you're probably struggling with the digestion of fats or the absorption of fats. So just a couple tidbits of info that you can ask your practitioner about. Okay, collagen, it's great. We all know collagen's great for hair, skin, nails, and then also it just so happens to support the gut as well, helping to strengthen that gut lining again. It's important. It's so crucial. It really is like the gateway to a lot of health issues. So we want to keep it strong. Promotes gut healing, any tissue that might be, compromised. I know that when I was first diagnosed with my gluten issues, there was suspicion that my small intestine was probably wrecked from the gluten because I had some serious gut issues with gluten. So it helps to support that, supports digestion, reduces inflammation, and enhances nutrient absorption. Again, we need nutrients for our bodies to function. Sometimes the most common of symptoms, even though they're not normal, they're common, could be just a result of not having the right nutrients in your body. So important. The Hydrate and Detox, one of my faves, it is designed to support hydration, detoxification, and antioxidant protection, as well as immune health. All the things, all the important things. And so hydration is obviously so crucial for your overall health, but also just keep things moving and grooving through your digestive tract. Again, remember, we want 1 to 3 bowel movements daily. That's what we're striving for. And so keeping ourselves hydrated is great. This in particular is great because it helps to keep our electrolytes in balance, which a lot of people don't realize water is just not enough for a lot of people. So it helps with that, muscle function, gut motility, and maintaining a healthy pH within the gut, which is really important for like the digestive processes. And then L-glutathione is the master antioxidant. It helps with detox processes, helping to eliminate toxins that affect our gut health. Remember, they affect our gut. If we're super toxic, our gut is going to be angry. Helps to support our immune system and protects against infections. And remember, your immune system is important when it comes to your gut health, because if you're always sick, and your immune system is always low, you're more susceptible to new bacteria and viruses. And then where do you think that they try to hang out? They try to hang out and live in your gut. And so it's important to take preventative measures as well to make sure that you're giving your body the good things that it needs to stay strong. And, you know, yeah, it's just crucial. And then my favorite, hands down, I keep this one on hand. I talk about it a lot with my clients and potential clients. Triple Boost protein powder. Oh, it's so good. If you're one of those people, you're like, I just don't like proteins. This one, it tastes so good. Hopefully you have yours on hand. But it helps to provide essential nutrients, reduces inflammation, and supports digestive function. It's also got 20 grams of protein. So I like to use it as a late afternoon snack, especially if I have a craving or something, instead of reaching for those processed foods that are not going to serve my gut. The three ingredients in it that impress me are this blue spirulina, which is a nutrient-dense superfood. It helps with anti-inflammatory properties, boosts the beneficial bacteria in the gut, helps to support the detox processes, and impacts gut health. You know what? I think by now you are little mini experts about all of this stuff. Like it's all making sense now. See how it all ties together? It's just this big puzzle that you just have to understand how to put the pieces together. And then slowly through time, you get it figured out. It's really inspiring once you see the connection. BCAAs, or branched chain amino acids, are important for muscle repair, maintaining muscle function, aka your gut motility, keep stuff, coming out, getting that toxic waste out, energy for cells that line your gut, and promotes a healthy gut lining. And then B12 is great for energy. It's function of gut cells, red blood cell health, which provides oxygen to your gut tissues, which is important, and it helps to support the gut brain axis. The gut brain axis is a conversation for a whole nother day. It was honestly so difficult to decide what specifically to talk about with you on this, because on this week, because I could talk to you for like 3 weeks about gut health. But what a lot of people don't get is that there is an axis between your brain and your gut, and the vagus nerve. You've probably heard of that, plays a crucial role. But basically, there's the communication between the two are very important. I'm trying to think of the word. It's bi-directional. I think that's the word. Relationship. So they impact one another, but having enough beneficial bacteria in the gut impacts the way in which your body is able to produce certain neurotransmitters that impact your mood. So serotonin, dopamine. I might have already told you this. And if I did, now this is just a refresher. I might have said this on the first video, but helps you to feel less stressed, help you feel happier. Who doesn't want to be happier? And then GABA is a big one. A lot of people I talk to have anxiety issues. And so if your GABA production is low, that's going to directly impact your stress and anxiety. So it's just important to understand that, a lot of people think that just anxiety and depression and whatnot is just a mood thing or a mindset thing. It stems back to what is going on chemically in your body and what your body is lacking. So I want to encourage you that if you do suffer from any of those things, that, putting healthier foods into your body, supplementing, getting a good night's sleep, reducing your stress, all of the things are going to help support that. Consistency is key to results with anything. So it's so key. Establishing new habits, taking action, planning and prepping, setting alarms, gaining accountability, understanding how your body functions are all so important when it comes to healing, no matter what you're healing. So making sure that what you're learning, you're taking what you learn and you're taking action. Listening to what I'm saying today is great, but it's not going to serve you unless you do something about it. And you may have to establish new habits to do that. And you may have to be planning ahead and prepping and setting alarms in order to be consistent. And if you're somebody that just struggles with all that, then you may need some accountability. And I know where you can look for that. The practitioner that invited you here can serve as a great accountability for you. And then understanding how your body functions is just a no-brainer. Like I spent the majority of my life not having a clue how my body functions. Not having a clue, excuse me, of how all of these things tie together. So hopefully this is a gateway for you to be like, oh, I want to learn more about my gut. I want to learn more about my hormones. I want to learn more about my sleep. All of the things, all of the great information that you're going to be learning this next couple of weeks, this entire 6-week process. And then learning more and more. There's never a time where you're going to be like, I don't have anything else to learn. Okay, we're wrapping up here. So protocols are, by the way, if you're still following, thank you. I know this is a little long-winded, but it's just also important. Protocols are so essential to your healing. You know, hopefully, you know that there are functional labs that you can take that, you know, help to identify what underlying imbalances are present for you. And the practitioner that you're working with can actually help make recommendations on protocols that can help your gut. So, for example, if you do a lab and we find that you have parasites or bacterial overgrowth or candida or yeast, those things are not just going to go away because you identified them. You really got to do something about your lifestyle. You have to make adjustments. And then for a lot of people, excuse me, protocols, just like our favorite detox that we've completed together, are going to help the process along. So protocols are targeted, customized, effective, natural and holistic, and trustworthy. Again, you want to go with brands that are reputable and tested and safe. And so, you know, if you do in fact find that you have an underlying gut imbalance, there's usually a protocol recommendation to help support you in the process along other lifestyle adjustments. And so that's usually a huge part of healing your gut, especially once you finally figure out like what's going on beneath the surface. And then last but not least, I just want to talk about the benefit of working with an integrative health practitioner. You know, it's a hard time when it comes to the healthcare system. I feel as though a lot of times you go to the doctor and you just don't really get the answers that you're looking for. It's more of just like Band-Aid solutions. And there's a time and a place in conventional medicine, doctors and specialists, there's a time for them. But there's also, I think, a great need for an integrated health practitioner in every family because we just go a little bit deeper. We provide support, guidance, accountability, education. We help to inform you and then support you throughout the process. And what we really pride ourselves in is getting to the root of the issue. And hopefully you've learned this week that like when it comes to gut health, I know that the buzzword gut is out there and we just assume that it means probiotics, but it's so much more than that. It's about learning how to align your lifestyle with your health goals and how you really want to feel. And so talk to the integrative health practitioner that invited you here about really digging deeper in your healing process and really fully understanding what would serve you best. That's what we're here to do. We're passionate about it. We wake up feeling lucky to do it every day. And there's just something so sacred and special and important about getting to the root of the issue, because as you can see, it just continues to manifest over time and impacts everything from your mood to your immune system, to your relationships, to your mindset, everything in between. And so working with an integrative health practitioner is probably the best piece of advice that I can give as far as getting your gut health under control, because it's just not going to look the same for everybody. Oh, I just feel so lucky to have been able to share all that with you today. I'm going to say a prayer right now that this goes through. So if you could say one too. Obviously, if you are watching this, then it means all is well. But I am so happy that you're here. Hopefully that everything that you've learned so far this week is resonating. And if not, then feel free to ask any questions right within the group. But thank you so much again for being here and good luck on your gut healing journey.